All right, hello everyone, good to see you here. Paul Tranning, going to dive into actually working on some cool photos, doing some HDR looks, high dynamic range images, even if you don't have images that are set to different exposures. Also making panoramics super easy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So just want to wish you a warm hello. Something like that. Hello there, folks. All right, there we go. Cool. All right, so let's dive into this now. Be great. There we are. Let's make sure everything's synced up. Hello, Hamed from Egypt and Hakeem from Azerbaijan. Awesome. Cool to see. And let's get this party started. I'm going to share my screen, as you can see right here. Here's my desktop. And I have a number of images off to the side. I could do this a couple different ways. Let's start the simplest way, if we could. And feel free to say hello. Would love to hear from you and just have you say hi. It'd be cool. So I could give you a warm welcome. We'll just grab an image that I took last week. This one right here, right? This Grand Canyon image. So we'll load it up, and you can see what it looks like here, right? And it could use a lot of pop, basically. So this is probably one of the easiest things to do to really make a drastic adjustment in the image. Keep in mind that this is a JPEG. And hello from Poland as well, Mehmet and Papa from Ghana. Awesome. I am doing well, so thank you for asking. So feel free to chime in. Would love to hear from you. Took some time off, a little bit of time off last week. So that's where I was, a little MIA. But with the image open, so this is all you need to do. Go to Image Adjustments, down to HDR Toning, right? Okay, so right here, this is all you need to do. Dominic from Philippines, right? HDR Toning, okay? This is hands-free mode. Look what it did. It already changed it from something that's kind of drab. It just gives it some more pop, as you can see here, right? It just brightens up some of this dark area down here. Okay, so from here, I can go ahead and have some fun with it. So I can add more detail. I encourage you to play with all of these settings, right? You'll probably kind of click around and you'll see some different things happening, right? You won't know what any of this is, right? Well, I typically like to use presets in this case. When I get all these sliders, I don't know what they do. Well, hey, they typically will have a preset right up at the top. So you can come in here and change this to, say, photorealistic right there, okay? Photorealistic. Obviously, you can see what it does. So we have our before, and then we have our after. Before, after, right? That looks pretty good. I actually like jumping into some of these other ones, like RC5 is a little much. This is honestly my favorite. This is the most extreme one that I love to work with. I don't know if you guys have a favorite or if you've even created some of your own custom HDR presets, but I'll go to Scott 5. Electric. Hello, Francisco from Montreal. Or no, sorry, that's your close one. You are from Spain. I'm sorry about that. Ali from New Zealand. Nancy from London. Awesome. All these cool places that I want to go to. So doesn't it make this look electric? Now you could see how all these sliders have changed, right? Yes, exactly. Dominic remembers the first time he used PS and played around with HDR toning. I can tell you what I do with most of my images, as I'll show you exactly what I do actually. So right in here, I'll play with a couple of these options. The gamma, if I take this down, it's going to make it a little bit brighter, right? We can see that. We could also add a lot of detail. So as I slide this up, I'm digging that detail right there. But also this glow radius. The glow radius has a lot to do with, obviously, how these highlights kind of come through, giving it that glow. So we'll start to play with some of these. The cool thing is some of these parts I might like, some of them I might not like, right? But overall, I think this looks pretty good. Just for a fun, electric Grand Canyon photo. We hiked from the top here clear down to there, right there. So anyways, so I've added this like electric look. I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna copy it. And let's click back in here real fast just so I can see. I'll just copy this onto my pasteboard. So this is just a little pro tip, and then I'll just revert back to the original, right? Reverting back to the original, and I'll paste on this new one. So now we have like the before and then the after. But with this one on a new layer, I can start to play with all of these, you know, I can start to play the blend modes, for instance. So if I just wanted to bring out the highlights from this HDR image, right over here, I can go to say lighten, right? Changing that to lighten. So again, before and after. If I'm not crazy about the sky, I could always minimize that by adding an adjustment layer, right? Hitting B for brush, making sure black is in the foreground, and, you know, kind of paint accordingly, just so that sky isn't so drastic. It got a little bit too electric. But again, this is kind of my final image. I'm into it, right? I'll go ahead and export this out as a JPEG to my desktop, and this will be the final that we made just from one image, okay? So yeah, some of you might have played with it. I use HDR as a separate layer on top of my design just to make it pop. And sometimes I will adjust the opacity as well. So like, I encourage you to play with this and just add that pop that some images need, okay? So yeah, exactly, Brian. I hear ya. You'd love it if Lightroom understood what you're trying to do when you're shooting HDR panoramics, if it's figured that out. Guess what? Photoshop can figure that out, just so you know. So that's what I would do here. So I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I'm gonna answer that question and get back to that. Because what I actually have is I have a photo that has this particular scene shot with different exposures, from medium, dark tone to like a higher exposure. Right, so for those 3 images of Devil's Bridge in Arizona, I can open that up. Okay, so where can you find it? Just so you know what we were talking about, it's right in here. We were working in HDR toning, okay? Key thing to remember here is it's gonna flatten the image, and it's gonna ask you to flatten it if it's not already a JPEG. So just keep that in mind. HDR toning works on flat images, right? But check this out, I already have 3 images open. From here I can go to File, Automate, and oh, right down here, Merge to HDR Pro. Okay, because I have these 3 images open with different exposures. And from here's the dialog, merge to HDR Pro, open up all those files, bam, bam, bam. Align them, because I actually shifted a little bit when I took each one of these photos. We'll go ahead and align those source images, click OK. Hello everyone, how's Mitra from Tel Aviv? Very cool. Awesome, Bangladesh in the house. So, ooh, Puerto Rico. We're supposed to go on vacation in Puerto Rico, but not with the way things are today. By the way, I touched nothing, and it already made this beautiful photograph by combining those 3 images that are kind of behind my head. So let's move me off to the other side if I can. Let's flip me. Oh, no, wrong. Oh, let's get back there. Okay, here we go. We won't sweat this too much. But nonetheless, these are the images that we're working with. Okay, so right over here, we have a lot of those same settings. So right up here, I can change this to photorealistic, right? Gives it that pop, but then we'll go down to Scott 5 as well. Yes, Brian, go ahead and try this now. That's what I want to hear. Check this out, like, look at that. Look at this, look at how electric it makes this scene. It's a total look, but like, man, from what I first created, this is pretty darn awesome, right? I could always uncheck some of these to use some and not others. But at least, again, from here, I can go ahead and adjust, play with the gamma, the detail, the radius as well, and start to tweak some of these settings. Okay, also down here, if we wanted to increase the shadow, right? As I crank that up, we can see it starts to bring those shadows up, right? So before and then after. See how it just kind of lightens up all those shadows? Looks gorgeous. If you're used to using curves, guess what? That's right down there, right? Look at that, that's awesome. It's so beautiful. What do you think, Michael? Mitra? All right. Just blew your mind. Okay, you like it? Is this cool? Yay! Yay! Applause sound effect. Yeah, I pumped in my own applause for my own stream. Ridiculous. Okay, but again, really cool what we could do. Again, I'll just copy this. I'll revert it. back to the original, if I can. Oh, I guess this is actually makes a new file, so I apologize. But here's the final, here's the previous images. So if I even paste this one into, say, this one here, so it's kind of like you have the before and then the after. Okay, cool, done, we can move on. Can we move on? Aguilar, you like it? Oh, good. I like it as well. Awesome. And again, that's if you're lucky enough to have 3 images with different exposures. What a lot of people do is you'll take a panoramic image, especially if you're in a cool place. You'll be like, oh, I have this cool panoramic. Oh, and I want to stitch them all together. So we're going to kind of switch gears and kind of sew all these together. But honestly, I don't know which one's which. And I did number these, sure. But typically there's some weird, obscure numbers. I'm not sure where the last one begins and the first one ends and stuff like that. I got to match all of these up. It's like, well, how do these go together, right? So to make a pano in Photoshop is done pretty easily as well. It's under File, Automate, right down here. We were working in HDR Pro. We can go to Photo Merge, selecting that. And we have this dialog as well. And this has been in Illustrator. What is my name? My name is Paul and I'm working in Photoshop. But what's cool about this is we don't have to worry about any of these layouts. A lot of people won't know. I won't even know what these are. It's like, well, it's kind of spherical maybe. Like, is it cylindrical? Keep it at auto. It will kind of determine which to use, okay? I can show you the outputs for all of these, but just go with auto. That's going to give you your best option. So we'll add our open files, take all of those, right? Just easier that way. And right down here, we can do content-aware fill transparent areas. We could work on geometric distortion correction. So if there's any distortion based on your lens, we could do that. And I just encourage you to play with this. I don't know what kind of camera you used. I used a Panasonic Lumix GH5 for this. We're just going to do content-aware fill, blend the images together, click OK. Do your thing, Photoshop. Don't let me interrupt ya. Hello, Froja. Hello, Mitra. Cool. Glad you guys are all liking this. Awesome. So it's aligning the layers. It's going to generate the output panorama, right? We can see right here, in fact, it's like, oh, it's going to have to stitch together this area. It's like, good luck with that, Photoshop, right? And I'm zooming in and out, so only some of this is like rendering on my screen, right? Just because I'm zooming a lot. But there it is. Look at that. Gorgeous panoramic, as we can see right in here as I kind of pan through this. I didn't have to worry about which image was which. And we can see how all that lays out. Right down here, we can see, again, it did content-aware patch, basically, is what happened here. Tried to patch up that area, doing the best it could. It's like, I get it, Photoshop. You did a pretty good job. But it gets me 90% there. If we actually turn off this top layer, you can see all the areas where it patched in. So it did try to patch in down here, right? Here's the patched version. Did a pretty good job, but chances are you're probably going to want to come in and fix some of this yourself. So it's pretty straightforward. Just drag that over there, up, something like that. Looks good. Just so we don't have a duplicate logs or whatever. So yeah, super cool what you could do here. From here, I can upload this and use some third-party website to create a pano or a video. There's apps on your phone, right? I can send this to my phone if I want to. Right? Just airdrop it is what I typically do. Right? I could airdrop this out to my phone and then post it to social media. You get the idea. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, thank you, Daniel. That's what I was going to talk about. Daniel mentions Adobe Bridge. So you do have some of these capabilities in Lightroom as well, just so you know. But let's go back out to... Heck, let's go right in here. We could select these 3 photos. Actually, which ones? These ones are good, different exposures. Right up here, from Bridge, Photoshop, merge to HDR Pro, and photo merge as well in Bridge, if you're using Bridge. So Adobe Bridge kind of allows you to organize photos. if you use Bridge, this is great. It does the same process. That's all. Just another way to get to it. And we'll wait for that. And guess what? We'll make it fantastic and electric. Whoa. So much color going on. You get the idea. Pretty easy to work with. So, yeah, so that would be cool, Brian Kirkwood. Sounds like you are doing some awesome panoramic 3D. So there's apps out there, there's websites out there, and there's apps on your phone that will allow you to stitch together and make panoramic images. So just do a search. Again, I don't know why we don't have that, because honestly, other places have that. So I don't know what we're really bringing to the table, because other people are doing it. So that's good. All right, Samuel. Oh, you are too kind. Wow. Do you guys like the sound effects? They must be super annoying. But that's a wow for all the likes Samuel gave me and everything. So cool. I am going to let you guys go and say thank you very much. And to say, hey, try this stuff out for yourself. Because again, easy to do and makes any kind of horrible photo look pretty darn good. If not a little overexposed in this case, you get the idea. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Just follow me on all the social medias and for what I have next. So thanks for watching, guys. And that's all I have for you. We'll see you next time.